Okay, now I have sound, right? Now I have sound, so I've been talking to myself here. I've been sitting here talking to myself for the last 15 minutes. Okay, my wife just said she's listening. Can you hear now, Jan? Can you hear that? Desktop audio mic easily. Okay, now I have sound, right? Now I have sound, so I've been talking to myself here. I'm sitting here talking to myself for the last 15 minutes. Right. Okay. Here we go. Where was I? What I was saying here is pivots seem to be ignored on the monthly basis, daily chart. So, you know, they've just been ignored. Hasn't really been respected at all. It opened out of position, zoomed up past the take profit zone, and just come. But according to normal pivot point theory, this is the idea. We're supposed to be heading down here at the moment. We got a week, as I was saying earlier to myself, was we got these 5 days and 2 days next week to get ourselves down to here, which is easily possible. So we'll just keep that in mind. But this, you know, as I say, technically this is bullish. This is the previous on a daily basis. This is the high. The previous low from that high is really here. So while we're inside this zone, we're still bullish, because that's a bullish move up, and the previous high was here, previous low. So we're at higher highs and higher lows until we break out of here, or break out of here. Well, it has to break below this zone here. We're still bullish daily on a 4-hourly basis. And as I said to myself, because I didn't have the sound on, but anyway, what I'm trying to do here is trade the 4-hour candles, but on a 5-minute basis. The last candle on Friday was actually an inside candle. So based on that, a break above this would have been bullish, and a break below that would have been bearish, because it was an inside candle. But the fact is we've gapped down quite well. So now we're looking at possibly closing that gap. Now this is tradable, but I'm not too sure whether I will or not. I'm not at this point. To take this back up, to try and close that gap. But my expectation is still to have this bearish. On a weekly basis, I would ideally like to get back up into this zone here, to sell this for the week, but we'll have to wait and see. But that's the idea. If we were to get up into this zone, particularly earlier in the week, and it gives us a sell signal in this zone, we'll be selling it. I'll be looking to sell that hard down, but that remains to be seen. Actually, I'll just leave that there for the moment. And so that's what we're trying to get done on a weekly basis. On a daily basis, is this the dailies? Yes, I know. And anybody who loves nice clean charts, now it gets messy. But most people don't like it, but I can understand it, so that's really all that matters. And we're looking to get this up into this zone here to sell, which happens to be daily. That's a daily swing up for today. Alright, so that's where we want to get to. This zone up here, and a daily swing for today using pivot points means we've got to get up into here, which is where we want to get to. It's gapped down, of course, obviously. This is currently a 10-minute chart. It's gapped down, and it's just been climbing steadily since. So if anybody bought that down there on a razor, on a raw spread, razor spread, whatever you want to call it, then that was tradable. I guess it's tradable at the moment, but I won't be for the gap fill. This could be considered the gap fill here, or Friday's close, which was right there in the buy zone. So it's kind of hard at the moment, looking for a 4-hour trade on this. We have to get it up into here for the daily swing. So go into a 5 minute, and we have to get 5 minute chart, 4 hour pivots. So for this, that's the 4 hour. What have we got here? 4 hour. 4 hour, can't have that many lines. That's not right. That's not right. So we identify this thing here. Daily M3. So that's our target for the daily M3. That's where we would love to get it from swing down weekly. We want to get it all the way up here to sell. But at the moment, on a 4 hour basis, we'll be looking for sell signals in this zone here. So there's our 3 strategies on a daily, weekly and 4 hourly basis. 4 hour, we'd like to get up into here to sell. Not looking promising at the moment after that big open, a big gap open, to get up into here. But once again, like I say, you get up in here, we can look for a sell zone, sell pattern or candle or something to develop up in this area here, including starting here. Of course, we could easily get to this line here, which was last Friday's low, and find resistance right at that level. We could also get up to here is another resistance line, form of support. It will now be resistance, so you got that entire zone here. So we could end up getting up here and finding a reversal pattern and things starting to wanting to head down from up there. But once again, there's not much I can't sell it down there, put it that way. There's no, I just can't. My process won't allow me to sell it down there. I don't see any point of selling it down there, particularly at this time of the day. But that's pretty much my process at the moment. I'm looking to get up into here to sell it for this 4 hours if I get a signal. Remembering I only need to get the initial 10 pips to get 1%, and that's if I sold down there, I just need to come back down to this zone here. Or if it gets up to here and turns around and sells from up there, I'd only need to get back down, well, pretty much down to here again. So that's all I'd be after in that instance. I would then close half my position, move to break even, and it can do whatever it wanted to. But first I'm going to get up there, but I cannot sell it here. It's just not happening. So at the moment, sort of sit around and watch it and wait. The other one I might look at now is the Nikkei Wiki. Hasn't opened yet, hasn't started trading on a weekly basis. I look at the Nikkei because it's Asian Open, and I don't know, it trades just like anything else. It's an easy one to trade, there's no big deal. Spreads in pretty good and all that. So mine is 1 day. What the hell is that about? That's my timer. So I'm a day behind. I guess so, because it hasn't opened yet. The week last week was more bearish, but it was lower low, lower high. So despite the fact it closed with a bullish drive, it's still bearish because it's lower low, lower high. So, take from that what you will. This is a daily chart. My pivots aren't coming up on this one, but whatever. Pretty clear reversal signal here at the top. Missed that one. This looks very much like a reversal to me. This looks, my bias for this would be further downside based on what I'm looking at here. So that's what I'll be looking at. Get rid of this stuff. Delete. I'm going to go and do my cup of tea too. Her Majesty needs a cup of tea. So yeah, we're looking for this thing to be heading down. Obviously, if we break this level here, quite bearish, that'll give us lower low, lower high, or lower low against what? Not really, huh? This area here is quite important. If we get down there, previous gap, which is being filled, but it's still important anyway, carrying through. Under there. gap. You can get down to there, it should be good. So if we break that level, that low there, it's quite telling. But that doesn't help us for today. The weekly, this week, that's last week's price action. Alright, so this week we needed to get back up to here to sell to go down, but we're in the sell zone right this minute. Well, actually when it opens, unless it gaps open, but it closed in the sell zone. So this is where we want to get to sell, which is where when it opens, this is the sort of area we'll be looking at. So we got that highlighted. If I look at the weekly, where's the daily? This one's the daily. Now where's it highlighted? Did it disappear? Why not have it on the... Let me go back there. Just give me a second here. Yeah, that should be showing up there. But I went to minutes, didn't I? That should be showing up there. I don't know, let me have another look. 10 minute. What the hell is it? Right, anyways, this is a weekly. So we want to get back up into this zone here. We're in that zone anyway. So if we have, we could easily have a daily that's a 4 hour. So look at we could have a 4 hour swing up and still be in the sell zone. My preference actually would be up to this zone here. Let me go to a 5 minute, zoom out, zoom in, we would ideally like to get up to here and look for a sell zone from this morning's sell, which also coincides with this area here, right? Roll reversal, previous support, now resistance. So that's kind of where we'd like to get back into and look for a sell sign up that way. That'd be nice. On the Nikkei, if you want to trade the indices, on the Nikkei, because it's Asian session, right? You can trade the Aussie, but I look at the Nikkei because it pays better. So that's what I'm looking at there. Now I'm just going to alter this, properties, scale fix, go to 21. Yeah. Give me a bit more flexibility with this. And like I say, I'm looking to get that up into here and look for a sell sign. Now on the currencies, I look for a 10 pip stop and a 10 pip take profit of the first half of the position. But on this one, I go 100. So I'll take 100 pip stop. Just for example, sort of from here, 100 pips is, okay, there's 50 there. So double that, so 100's up there somewhere. If that's a bit too much, I guess we could always go for 50. Perhaps 50 might be better. That puts us behind the S1, the R1, I'm sorry, which is where it's supposed to go. So that's something to consider. Do a 50 pip stop, 50 pip take profit. I don't know, just say it went here, 50 pip to get it lower low, back to the bottom there is over 100. So, and I'd be confident in that. If it came off of here, off of this level here, which is kind of standard price action process, up to here and down again, then 100 pips, 50 pips, if we took a 50 pip stop, would be, well, just to here. If we got down to the bottom here, that gives us 70 odd pips. To get 100, we wouldn't have to go far below that. If we get down, if we sell off of here, we get a reversal pattern here at this level of 2238.0, 22380. Then if we got down past this low, or the 22314, okay, 22300, say, If we got below there, then we're pretty confident we're heading further down. In the meantime, that's my Nikkei, which hasn't opened yet. We've still got some hours to go for that. I'll keep watching the Aussie yen, and it's, it hasn't risen. It looks like it may be a reversing there, but it's very early days yet. But this is where I'm wanting to get to. Look for a reversal pattern there. If it gets bullish, if it goes up through there and we get bullish out of it, then so be it. I'm happy to do that on both a daily and weekly perspective. So that's what I'm waiting for. Not much else to say. I'm going to go make Her Majesty a cup of tea and I shall return. Not much to see or do at the moment. Okay, I have returned. And there's not much going on, not much to see really. What can I do? Could bring in today. So for today we have 9 o'clock RBA, so that could move something in the Aussie yen. Kiwi spread credit card spending probably down. Well, they're expecting minus 50%. I mean, when you think about it, people have been inside their houses a lot, maybe spending money online. I thought that might have been supportive of that number, but external factors, I guess they're expecting it to drop by nearly 50%. It's outrageous. Wow, minus 50, minus 62, strength. For the British pound, I mean, if that's lower than expectations, that could weaken the pound even further. That's this evening, so it could be a good setup. Watching that for a setup for a short at the UK Open, at the London Open, based on these figures. That might be something to look at. Be there for that. German BABA monthly report. Okay. And China CB leading index. Well, they fudge their results anyway. What about the rest of the week? Where's the rest of the week calendar? Okay, tomorrow, Bank of Canada. So we may have something with the CAD. But, that's actually, well, at my time, this evening, in the night. PMIs. Yeah, and you like PMIs. There they are for Australia. And the yen. So that could be interesting. That's tomorrow morning. CPI, tomorrow afternoon. For the BOJ CPI stuff. They haven't had, when was the last time they had inflation, poor buggers? They've been doing everything they possibly can for decades to try and get some inflation into their economy and have failed miserably. There's nothing else they can do except hope. So I wouldn't expect anything earth-shattering there. Okay, French PMIs coming in, purchasing managing indicators. For anybody that doesn't know, well, anybody, there's only yarn there. Purchasing managers indicators, it's the large companies, organisations that services companies, manufacturing companies and all that. On the French and German, the German's more important. That just tells you what the purchasing managers of the larger companies are buying in their expectations to fill orders that they're either expecting or have received, but not, that nobody really. It just says what the company's feeling is going to happen in the next month-ish or so. So if you get an idea of what the companies themselves are feeling about the future, the immediate future in the next month or two or whatever. The PMIs, because the purchasing manager is going to have to go and buy all the stuff to do the manufacturing or whatever they're going to need to do to fulfill their orders and stuff. So that's pretty good data, this stuff, which is why it's red. Europe PMI, using the Europe PMI is rated lower than this stuff is because this one's already come out. So, pound PMI. Anything below 50 is negative. Anything above 50 is positive. So they're expecting negative figures across the board in the Europe area. And the British. Britain's no longer part of Europe, of course. We got the pound tomorrow afternoon, or depending on where you are in the world, of course, but it's at an hour and a quarter before London Open. No, longer. 2.25 hours before London Open. The Bank of England Governor Bailey may speak. Now, there's been talk of the possibility of negative rates, so this may, before they do something like that, they're going to soften people up, right? So they're going to start talking about it first before they do it. It's usually the way they work. So that could be worth watching, see if they mention anything about it. US flash manufacturing PMI, once again that's important. They're expecting it to be flat. It's better than negative. The previous numbers for employment were outrageous. So what if this comes through with a positive number? That'd be interesting. Don't know how it's possible, considering everything that's going on over there, or what the news services are reporting to us. Because any good news, they don't report it, right? All they do is report all the bad stuff. That's what news people do, to spin a story, to sell the story. That's all they do. I mean, let's face it, news, it's mostly opinion nowadays. Opinion of the service that's is reporting the news. Basically, that's what it is. So a lot of them report only the bad news with a spin to reflect their bias. Even flat is pretty good. But what if they got to build? Because remember the last, this month's NFP was outrageous. Blew it, it was huge, massive positive growth. So this could possibly be higher than expected, and that would actually be negative to the US dollar. New home sales, BOJ summary opinions. Yeah, I wouldn't put much on that. New Zealand official cash rate, very important for the Kiwi. They're down 25 basis points. Would they consider cutting more? I wouldn't think so. They said it was unlikely at the moment, didn't they? Last time they spoke, that further cuts weren't really likely. They at some point there last year or earlier this year, they floated the idea of possible negative interest rates, which crashed the Kiwi. Then they came out a little bit later on and said it's not likely. So that's where we're at. But this still could be important, particularly the statement. Unless, of course, they come out and just cut without warning, which the Kiwis have done in the past. So it's a possibility. Crude oil inventories on, well, that says Thursday here. It's actually Wednesday morning generally for others, but it's 12:30 a.m. in the Wednesday evening for us. That can usually affect things. Durable goods orders for the US, so some stuff out there. Yeah, that's about it. Friday, some PCI stuff for the US, personal spending, bank stress results, all of that. So that's the pretty much the week. Yeah. Filter it. So we get rid of this one and just keep those. And that's the important stuff. Right there. Everything else is whatever. Right, what's price action doing? Not much, heading back down again. Look at that. I mean, for my processes, I can't trade this, so I might just leave it. I might just walk away and leave it. And there's much more to say, right? What do you do? You can't sell that. I can't. And all I can do is wait and see. Market's not open Monday morning, so I might sign off now and come back in a couple of hours or something and see where we're at. I think that's what I'm going to do. Going to go and put some brekkie on and do all that. And that's what we're waiting for on the Aussie yen and the pound yen. What's the pound doing? Oh, pound's closed its gap. It's something. It's interesting. Pound's showing more strength than the Aussie. The pound has closed its gap. We are now in sell zone for this 4 hours. For the opening 4 hours. On top of that, we've got a resistance here. It's got a bit of a resistance here, which gels with previous support. Monday morning, I can't take it. Actually, I tell a lie. What am I saying? This is where I want to get to sell. Up into here. I'm sorry, that was a mistake. I want to get up here to sell, not down here. I want to get up here to sell it. So there's no way, although that is interesting, I find that, you know, it's kind of tempting, but there's no way, no. I mean, we're back up, we've closed the gap, and here's the previous support and now resistance, and that's where it's, this morning, it's formed resistance right at that level. So that's interesting, but that's about it. I won't be selling that at this point, even for 10 pips, because that means I'm going to get back down here, and I won't be taking that. So now it's going to do it. That's pretty funny. Well, look at that spread. Still at 6.4. Look at that spread. Afraid that in this process that I'm trying to implement, I can't do that. So I'm going to sign off now and come back later on when things are looking a little more attractive. It's Monday morning, markets aren't open. On a Tuesday morning or Wednesday, through the weekly mornings, I would be considering something and waiting for something to happen here. But you know, being Monday morning, before any markets open, it's just not worth worrying about. So I'm going to go and have some brekkie and come on back a little bit later on. Catch a load of yarn if you're still there. You seem to be still there, but I haven't heard from you.